Well, away from home at a team that's got one of the best, if not the best, home records in the league. And we went 1-0 down. And it keeps it in our own hands. It's a point gained, I guess. In general, I do see this as a point gained, more than 2 dropped. I thought certainly earlier on in the game, Sunderland did look the better side. I thought we looked to try and take the game to Peterborough, but we just weren't able to connect to Ross Stewart and Charlie Wyke all that well. And you can probably tell why Peterborough are up there, because Peterborough did defend fairly well in the first half. Obviously, later on as the game goes on, and this is one thing that has pleased me actually over the last couple of games. Obviously, for the second league game in a row, Sunderland went 1-0 down. I know people might say it's good play from Peterborough, maybe it is, but in my opinion I thought that was very sloppy defending from Sunderland. I think Max Power in particular was ball watching too much and allowed Siriki Dembele, who I've mentioned countless times, he's one of the players that I thought we had to watch out for, slotted it past Lee Burge. And to be fair, it was now Burge could have done about that, and it was a good finish, to be fair to Dembele. I just don't think he should have got to that point in the first place, but maybe that's me being hypercritical or nitpicking. You never know. But in saying that, the response to come back from 1-0 down with a quality free kick from McGeady, certainly from Sunderland's point of view anyway, is pleasing. And I did see when we went 1-0 down, I was just thinking, okay, fine, you don't win. Just make sure you come out of that with something. Make sure you come out of that with a draw. And to be honest, in that circumstance, when we got the equaliser and it finished 1-1, I was thinking, okay, we'll take that. Make sure you get out of Peterborough with something. Move on to the next few fixtures. It's like I kept saying, as much as I wanted to win, and I think a win against Peterborough would have been massive, to not let them get 5 points clear ahead of us, I think is something. Even with the game in hand, I wouldn't have wanted them to have that advantage over us. Not at this stage of the season. If you had it in the first 10 games, then you can make that up. But within the last 10 games, I don't think I would have wanted that. So it still keeps it in our own hands. But I think now, if we win our game in hand, essentially, psychologically, if we win our game in hand, which is against Wigan, although granted we've got Charlton to play first, but say you won the game in hand, all you've got to do is match what Peterborough do when you're promoted. And obviously you've still got Hull to play, plus 2 games in hand on them. I think if Sunderland win the next 2 games, we go into the top 2. It sounds straightforward, and we know Sunderland don't make things straightforward, but that's the objective. That's what you've got to look at it. If you look at Peterborough, and I know that we can say we only got to concentrate on ourselves, you can't help but look at what other people are doing. Hull obviously won against Northampton, but that was expected. And you look at it, Peterborough's next 2 games are against Swindon away and at home to Northampton. Now, to be honest, I've sort of written those 2 games off. I mean, obviously, I hope I'm wrong, but I'd be very, very astonished if Peterborough didn't get 6 points from those 2 games. So Sunderland essentially have got to match that. We've got 3 in the time frame Peterborough play Swindon and Northampton. We've obviously got Charlton at home, Wigan away, which is the game in hand over Peterborough, and one of them on Hull, and of course Blackpool away. Now, out of those 3 games, you really could do with 9 points, or at the very, 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 very worst, 7. And I just got to hope that. But the thing, what gives us hope is that Peterborough going into their last 5 have got to play Gillingham, Charlton, Doncaster, Lincoln, Doncaster. Now, granted, Doncaster are on a poor run of form, but hopefully Doncaster can keep themselves in playoff contention. Likewise with Lincoln and Charlton as well, although hope Charlton lose on Saturday, obviously. So, look, I know I think about it way too much, but going into the last 8 games, it is still mathematically in our own hands. Let's just make sure we take advantage of that, because obviously I'm still kind of scarred off 2 years ago, where we had the chance to seal the top 2 place, and we somehow bottled it and contrived to not finish in the top 2. So it's obviously a pretty crucial period of the season. We will just have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully, we secure 2nd. I'm not overly fussed about winning the league. I'd like to, obviously, but we'll wait and see. That whole game in a couple of weeks is going to be massive as well, and hopefully we're able to beat them when we play them. I'll let me leave you there, guys. It's as it was. It's basically as you were. It's not too bad. It's not a great result, but it's not... Well, actually, okay. It's not a fantastic result, but it's not a bad one, all things considered. So, I'll leave you there, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Means the world to us. Thanks very much to everyone who supported. Apologies that this review was a bit late. But there you go. And I'll see you all on SCFC Fan TV if you want to join what's probably going to be me, Jack, and Dino for the live stream for SCFC v Charlton. See you all there.